Now, along with a simple bench test, you can also test your O2 sensor right on the vehicle, and we're going to demonstrate that right now, right, Jim?
That's right. Now, basically what we're going to need, Scott, is a voltmeter set on the 2-volt scale because the O2 sensor produces a very small voltage. And I'm going to connect the voltmeter first to a good ground. The negative lead gets connected to a good engine ground.
Sure.
And then I'm going to reach over and unplug the O2 sensor lead and connect the positive lead of the voltmeter to the O2 sensor's lead. Now we'll be able to measure the voltage while it's right in the engine. Now we're going to have to run the vehicle and change the air-fuel mixture ratio. The simple way to do that would just be to create a vacuum leak.
Sure.
And there's a vacuum port right here on the top of this engine with a little rubber cap on. So if you have one of these on your car, there's a little clip that you can use a pair of pliers to remove and get that out of the way, and then simply pull the little boot off. And that will create the vacuum leak that you need to change the mixture. So I'll start the car, and we'll do that.
All right. Now, we've previously run this engine for a little bit of time to warm it up, too. Okay. We might need to run the engine for a little additional time, and our meter's starting to come up now. So I think our O2 sensor is warm enough, and it does have to be at least 600 degrees Fahrenheit for this test to work.
Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the vacuum port, and we should watch the numbers drop as we lean the mixture.
Yep, going way down. Put your finger over and plug the vacuum leak, numbers go back up. Way down, and back up.
Now, as you can see, the engine almost stalled on this test, and on some vehicles it actually would stall. So on those vehicles, we'll have to do something called a propane enrichment test.
Sure.
And so I'm going to take this valve, which we have screwed to a propane bottle. It's a regular propane bottle with a special valve on it for doing this test, and connect it to the vacuum port.
Okay, now we have a slight vacuum leak introduced, so we're seeing a real low voltage on the voltmeter, which is a signal of a lean mixture. Now, if we open the propane bottle up, our reading should go up. There it goes, way up.
And as I shut it off, it goes back down.
Way back down.
But this gives us the opportunity then to test an O2 sensor on the vehicle with either a vacuum leak or a propane enrichment test.
Let's review the test procedure for an oxygen sensor that has been removed from the vehicle. The first step is to visually inspect the oxygen sensor. Normal coloration will be light tan. White, black, red, or light gray deposits are sign of a contaminated sensor. Connect the red lead of the digital voltmeter to the black lead from the sensor. Connect the black lead from the digital voltmeter to the body of the sensor. Set the meter to the 2-volt scale. Heat the sensor tip in the flame of a propane torch. The voltage should exceed 0.9 volts within 1 minute. Remove the sensor tip from the flame. The reading on the voltmeter should reach 0.1 volt or less within 3 seconds. If not, replace the sensor. Now let's review the testing procedure for an oxygen sensor that is still installed in the vehicle. Connect the red lead of the voltmeter to a pin that is back probed into the oxygen sensor connector. Connect the black lead to a good engine ground. Locate a good manifold vacuum source. Start the engine and run it until the meter reading begins to toggle over and under 0.5 volts. Create a vacuum leak at the port or source located earlier. Observe the meter reading. The voltage should drop below 0.1 volt briefly with the vacuum leak and should rise above 0.5 volts when the vacuum leak is plugged.